Good morning, I'm Zara Tolston.
And I'm Savannah Hess.
Welcome to the E2 News.
This is the news for the week of Monday, December 8th to Friday, December 12th.
Here is this week's lunch menu.
Monday, pizza, choice barbecue sandwich.
Tuesday, Mexican Straw Hats, choice chicken patty.
Wednesday, chicken and noodles, choice steak fingers.
Thursday, French toast, choice turkey club.
Friday, enchilada, choice chicken nuggets.
The Explore bookstore will be open this Wednesday during lunch.
And remember, every book costs just $1.50 each.
It's time to hear the word of the week.
This week's word is petrified.
Petrified means to be so frightened you are unable to move or think.
For example, Mrs. Yates was petrified when she saw a spider in the corner.
Remember to try use the word of the week when you are talking or writing this week.
Our second and third grade students will be having their Christmas program on Tuesday at 6. All students who are participating need to be in their classrooms ready to go by 5:40.
Our girls basketball team will begin their tournament run on Tuesday against Erskine at Valley Grove at 4:30.
Good luck, girls.
And now it's time for the
Shout out of the week.
Mrs. Shaw would like to give a shout out to third grader Julian Tyler for passing his multiplication facts all the way to the 12s. Way to go, Julian.
Mrs. Worley would like to give a shout out to fourth grader Kadasia McCullough for receiving a character referral from her bus driver. Her bus driver is impressed with Kadasia's hard work and the example she is now setting for the other riders. Great job, Kadasia. Keep your hard work up.
And now it's time for Mrs. Wommack to do the fish cast drawing for books.
Good morning, Eastside Explorers, and once again, it's time for a fish cast drawing for books. Remember, if your name gets called, come on down to the office and get a certificate that you can use for a free book on Wednesday at the Explorer bookstore during your lunchtime. We'll start with first grade because that's what we do. Our first grader for this week from Mrs. Smith's class, Dana Jackson. From Mrs. Adams' class, Jasmine, I think Jasmine Morgan, I believe. From Mrs. Adams' class, again, Tyson Smith. And from Mrs. Smith's class, Nevaeh Fendley. Come on down and get a certificate. Second graders, from Ms. Bennett's class, Peyton Overbay. From Mrs. Poor's class, Caitlin Atkins. From Ms. Bennett's class again, Deaya Simmons. And our last winner from second grade for this week is from Mrs. Poor's class, and it is Emily Blaylock. Come on down and get a certificate. Our first third grader from Mrs. Shaw's class, Mr. Jaden Moore. From Mrs. Shaw's class again, Miss Ada Ernie. From Mrs. Maidlow's class, Trey Hudson. And our last third grader for this week is from Mrs. Stanley's class, and it is Jaden Adams. Come on down and get a certificate. From fourth grade, Mrs. Biggis's class, Kenneth Washington. Mrs. Biggis's class again, Juan Reyes. From Mrs. Biggis's class again, Alicia Bruce. Trying to get somebody from a different class here. From Mrs. Payton's class, Landon Braden. Come on down and get a certificate. Our first fifth grader. From Ms. Plummer's class, Zach Landis. From Mrs. Fulton's class, Nashara Jenkins. From Mrs. Fulton's class, Sierra Quiros. And our last winner from fifth grade for this week is from Miss Plummer's class, and it is Mr. Jonathan Hyde. Come on down and get a certificate. And once again, Eastside Explorers, thank you for being proud, positive, and productive.
Have a great week.